Hey guys, Bill Green with PokerVT.com back here. I am about to do part 2 of the series that I started on 6 max PLO, and we are picking up right where I left off. So yeah, raised this hand on the button. He donks in. This is kind of a weird spot. This guy's been really passive, and I had a pair plus gutter, some overs. This is definitely a spot where I could think about making a play, but he'd simply been so passive that I decided to just let it go, and just kind of try and take his money when he isn't really resisting as much, if you will. But it's definitely a spot where against some people I am going to be playing back at him and trying to make something happen, or at least seeing a turn and play poker. We got a real nice looking double suited rundown over here on top right table. This is a hand that if it was limped around to me, I definitely would call, or excuse me, would raise. Here, when that guy who seems like he's been a decent player, sort of appears to be isolating the weak limps, something I want to 3-bet, and there are some hands. So here we go. So here's kind of another interesting spot. No nace or whatever. I think he's really wide. There's tons of stuff he could have. And I don't think that on PPK ever has aces. I think if he has aces, he is 100% of the time rejamming over no-nace. He's going to be able to make it, about 100 there? Maybe... even a little more. So he's going to be able to get the majority of his stack in right away, and I think he does that. When he calls, I put him on a non-aces hand, so I decide to just rip it in there. I'm going to have fine equity against, I have fine equity against his range, and I think I can make him fold a decent amount. Any sort of king's hand, queen's hand, I think he just has to fold, just putting me on aces. If he's got a rundown himself, I don't think he folds. Obviously, when that flop comes out, it really plays itself. Nothing we can really do. No-nace had a really strong hand. I guess he played it well, but sort of interesting. But yeah, I don't dislike my play. So here, on lots of flops, I'm basically shoving any flop, and on a deuce 8 flop, I'm gonna shove, and PPK is going to fold, and I'm going to be winning that entire side pot. There's lots of good stuff comes by having initiative. Obviously, he does pretty well against my hand. However, I do have 2 live suits, and the big rundown. So I'm fine with it. Plus, it's just I don't have many hands in my jamming range there, and it's nice to have another one. It's nice to not only have aces there. It makes me a little tougher to play against, and I'm fine with just shipping the money in there. Just kind of, all right, let's gamble and hope things go my way. Okay, so down here with the deuce 4-4, I think I should have bet the turn actually. But now I just kind of, I think now I kind of realized it. I was preoccupied trying to get that hand history back up. But when it comes down, when this is the board and he hasn't bet flop or turn, I just don't think he has much. Maybe my pair of 4s are good, but I think much more likely, he's got a pair of 9s or something. And when I just pop the river, it looks really suspicious, and I would look myself up very light, but against a fishy player like Ronaldo very possibly is, I think he folds a lot there, and and whatever. So here we have a pretty easy C bet here. kind of a weird turn. So it's a weird spot. It looks like I didn't think about it very much, but I definitely did. So basically, I didn't think that he would be calling a double barrel with worse all that much often. I didn't really want to. I don't think I can check raise. I definitely don't think so. It's kind of a tough spot. I think there are definitely merits for just betting again, just staying in control. Even if he can't call, well, that's not true. A queen isn't folding, and so that's possible. I just kind of thought that there was a very good chance he had a float in his range, and this was a perfect turn for him to then take it away from me. So I decided to check, let him try and float me. Check and call, and then check and call most rivers. So it's kind of so this river comes sort of weird. The backdoor diamond draw gets there, and the straight also gets there. I do have the nut straight for what it's worth, I beat a random jack. But on the other hand, there's a flush out there. There's boat or whatever. So up here, just to break off, he checked the flop back, and I don't think he calls me. I don't think he calls with worse a lot when I bet out on this turn. But it's just kind of a spot where you bet, and if he folds a gutter or an open ender, or even just an overpair that had 2 outs, whatever, you just that's fine. So I end up. So he bets 28 into what was like 44 here, I think. And I really didn't like it. I definitely thought like I was getting valued. But, there's that whole leveling game of what it looks like, and my hand really isn't that much different than aces here. But with aces, I'm always folding. So I decided to look him up, and he ended up running that flush, and then making not a thin value bet, but definitely not a thin value bet. He made a good value bet, but I guess I think it plays out the same way if I bet the turn. He played it fine. It's just kind of one of those spots where I guessed wrong. Got a sort of gross river. There are plenty of turns where, basically I'm crushing his hand on the flop, and even doing pretty well on the turn, simply because I can make a boat a lot easier than he can. Obviously, we have the same hand, but he's going, or on the flop at least, he's trying to runner a flush, and I can hit my jack, hit my king. So on this hand, I opened, and then I opened, call, squeeze, and then we both call. Without Matsman behind me, I call this sometimes. I'm just getting real good odds. I've got a gutter, I've got a pair. It's still a little thin, but against aces I do fine. I guess I'm still probably a little too deep to do it, but with Matsman in there behind me, it just becomes a turbo fold. There's, it's not even close then. But yeah, if he was a little shorter and it was only heads up, or if Matsman had to fold already, then it becomes closer to a call. So here are those double suited kings out of position. Single suited kings out of position. I mucked them. I don't know. I probably should be calling there, but I don't think it's bad. That's going to be a tough hand to play. 350 BBs deep, out of position. I probably, that said, I probably still should just be calling them for set value. And obviously, when kings make a set, they're generally going to be top set, and hope to set overset him, or hope to make nut diamonds with the ace of diamonds out there.